Today we're going to be learning about front zips on wetsuits and why they are good and why they are bad and why you might want to buy one. We're going to be getting up close and personal in this camera today because my lighting is really bad. So regardless if you're a seasoned surfer or you're just beginning off surfing, this is going to be a great video for you to learn some stuff about front zip wetsuits. Because hey, you can't know enough in this day and age, hey? This information age is real and we're here and we've got a mic in our face. The first benefit of front zip wetsuits is the ease of entry. On the front of the wetsuit, you will have a zipper that allows you to get in and out of the wetsuit. Because the zip is on the front, it means that you don't need any assistance from anybody else besides yourself. You don't have to get your hand to do the back zip. You just have a nice little zip at the front here that you can pull across your chest to get in and out. This is particularly helpful, especially when you're in a very snug wetsuit. When you have got a back zip and it's a very snug wetsuit, you definitely need help with your zipper. However, when it is a front zip entry wetsuit, you can do it yourself. It's right there. Regardless how snug that thing is, you're going to be getting in. The next thing I want to mention is the fact that it is going to keep you warmer compared to your back zip wetsuits. So the front zip wetsuit does in fact keep you a lot warmer simply because there is less zippage at the front. Back zip wetsuits, they have a huge zip on the back and that allows a lot of flushing water to go in and out. And the whole reason a wetsuit works is because it lets the water in and it warms up all your water and keeps it there as much as it can. Whereas if the water is coming in and out all the time, it's not going to be keeping you very warm. And that is why front zip wetsuits are a lot better than back zip wetsuits on this occasion. And because it is a front zip wetsuit, it means that your neck is going to have a nice seal around it compared to back zips. Back zips, the zip goes all the way up the neckline, meaning that you will have a bit of flushing down your neck, whereas these front zippers, they don't have that issue because it's not even on your neck, the zip. This also means it gives you opportunity to surf longer sessions in bigger waves. You're not worried about the water getting flushed all the way down your wetsuit by these huge surges. However, when you are wearing a back zip, you have got to be conscious about how many times you're duck diving and how much water you are letting in. With a front zip wetsuit, you do get more mobility compared to a back zip wetsuit. It enhances your range of motion and allows you to get those bigger paddles in. Back zip wetsuits have got that huge zipper on the back that constrict your muscles together compared to the front zip wetsuit that just goes on your chest and it doesn't hinder any of your back muscles. And in surfing, you need a lot of back mobility because we are using a lot of major muscle groups when we are paddling, popping up, and also just looking around for waves. And one of the most important things is the fact that you're going to look absolutely lit wearing this front zip wetsuit because it's a front zip wetsuit. Going for a front zip wetsuit is a very good option in terms of just looking cool. Because back zips, I mean, it just kind of reminds me of when you're at the seaside with your parents and then they used to have to like do your back zip up. You know, when you used to wear those shorties and you'd get sand everywhere and then you'd get your parents to like zip your back up. I've got this now. Listen, I just think front zip wetsuits look cool because, I mean, it kind of looks like you're almost like an FBI agent in a way. It's like this little pouch thing you have. It's not even a pouch. It's just like a zip, but it just looks cool.
They also have the little...
You know what my people in the back have just said? They've just said you also get like a little key thing. The key thing comes out and most of them, it goes in here and that's where you keep your keys. Compared to back zip wetsuits, they're usually on your leg or something. It's like, that's coming off straight away. Okay, so here's the possible downsides of getting a front zip wetsuit. Do you want to know them? Listen in. Front zips do cost a bit more than back zips. When I mean a bit more, probably like $150, maybe like £100. So £100 more on your wetsuit bill. However, the one thing I would say is that I think it's worth it because they're more durable compared to back zips. The back zip typically does just get worn out, whereas the front zip, it's a tiny little zipper, and if it needs replacing, it's just this little segment. Whereas like a back zip, if that's ruined, your whole wetsuit's ruined. However, to counter that, some people have said that front zips aren't as durable as back zips. I don't know why that would be. But I did a bit of research and people say that they're not as durable. I'm like, I don't know what you're doing with it. Are you getting you and your buddies in there? And the one last thing I would say is that it is a learning curve to get into the front zip. When you have gone from a back zip to then rebirthing yourself backwards into a front zip wetsuit, it is a very big learning curve. You look at that hole and go, whoa, no, not today. I'm not going back in there, okay? So that is the conclusion on today's video about front zip wetsuits, the pros and cons of them. Yeah, that's all I'm going to say about them today because that's all we've got time for because I'm a busy woman, got gaming to do. So if you do have any more questions or comments or anything like that, you know where to put them. Also, make sure you like. Don't forget to subscribe because, man, goodbye. I hope you've enjoyed the microphone popping in and out of everywhere. It's a new thing we're doing.